How are you guys doing today? I am so happy to do this video. Once again, we have the market data of December 2021. So this is the end of the year for 2021, and we finally were able to get the data off of the Greater Nashville Association of Realtors. It was a little late. We had some catch-up time because of the holidays and everything. And so now we have the data, and I am so happy to be able to go over it with you guys today. So I've got it pulled up on my screen already. And we'll go over it. I mean, let's just hit it. All right, so now you can see my screen. So the Greater Nashville Association of Realtors puts this out month to month so that they can show us exactly what the market data is doing month to month. So I wanted you guys to understand, though, that you can actually look this up yourself. You don't have to be a realtor to do this. We talked about this in the last video, but you can actually look the stuff up yourself. And I would encourage you to look it up month to month so you know, especially if you're in the market to buy, what the market looks like. Is your home appreciating or depreciating month to month? And we're seeing currently, at least for the last 2 years, that almost everything is appreciating. Everything is appreciating in a very large amount, and it's really exciting for a lot of home sellers. Not so exciting for a lot of buyers. So it's a seller's market. Home prices are a little higher than they usually are. So anyway, if you guys want to get here, greaternashvillerealtors.org, and then we come over here to the market data, and then we'll come down here to the monthly area home sales, and then we'll pick the year that we want. We're going to be going over 2021 and 2020. This time we're not going to be going over 2019 because we went over it in the last video. If you want to see that, go to the last video. You'll see everything you needed to see. Again, this is the Davidson, Cheatham, Dixon, Morey, Robertson, Rutherford, Sumner, Williamson, and Wilson counties specific. So this is the Greater Nashville area. We're not really going very far north, very far south, very far east, very far west. We're really trying to stay within the center of Nashville with this video. But that's if you have another county you want me to look into, please let me know. Put it in the comments, and I will look up the data for you and send it to you personally. Okay, this is something we do as realtors, and we should know our numbers from all areas. So please let me know if you're in Tennessee and you need something else. Let me know. Okay. So thank you so much for Mitch Turner. I want to point him out. This guy does this every single month, and he is fantastic at getting very, very specific numbers for us all every single month. So thank you, Mitch Turner, for that. All right, let's scroll on down to December. We already looked over November and compared them to October and September. So we're going to stick with just December and November, comparing the two numbers there. And then we'll go back a year and look at the numbers, what they were in 2020 as well. Okay, December. Median home price, you can see that we're about 437,362. That is a very specific number. Thank you again, Mitch Turner. But I wanted to compare that to last month. We are about $12,000 higher than we were last month. That's great. That means we're still on a rise. If you're a home seller, or home owner, then you can see that you are still potentially on the rise for home equity. So that's fantastic. I'm so glad to tell you guys that you guys are still appreciating in your home, in your assets of having a home. So I think that's fantastic. There are a few numbers on here that I wanted to look at very specifically. This is going to be way faster than the last video because you should have got the kind of the outlay of what I like to look at through those videos. But I want to look at the closing numbers. So if you look at the closing numbers from November and December, you'll notice that we're about 200 closings more. And what that is important to tell us is that we have about almost 5% extra data to work off of to find this median home. So coming to the holidays, maybe there were more million dollar homes that sold. So what's it's going to do is it's going to obviously skew the prices and send them up a little higher. I think that's important to understand. So these numbers are flexible, and they're not I'm not saying that your home is worth $437,000. Okay, your home might be worth $200,000, but percentage wise it's probably grown the same amount as all of these counties if you're within these counties. So I think that's very important to understand. So closings were different. We had about 5% different, a little bit less than 5% difference in the amount of closings that we had from November of 2021. However, if you look for inventory, so this is at the end of December, we're looking at almost 1,000 less inventory going into the next month as we were the month before. So November and December, we ended with 3,019. As you can see right here, let me highlight it for you. This month we ended up with 2,194. That is a massive drop. That means homes are selling, or people are not selling. Holiday seasons, obviously things kind of back off. But when we actually go back to, well, let's do it right now. as we go back and look at December of 2020, uh, 2020, we notice that we have 3,500, which is barely less. It's only 200 less than the year before. We're seeing less inventory now than before, which is very interesting to me because to me, we should be uh, trying to sell our homes and cash in our equity because we're going to lose that opportunity soon where we're going to be beating rates. Rates are going to rise, and I'll only talk about that shortly. Rates are rising slowly. I know I had an opinion with a few people that it was going to go way higher, but they're saying, I'm hearing, and this is just opinion, this is through their studies of the data, but it's still an opinion, we don't know, that our rates are going to rise to 4.5, maybe even 5% by the end of 2022. So just keep that in mind. If you're selling refinancing, I know that we keep telling you now is the time, but now is the time. If you've talked to a realtor, we'll tell you now is the time. Don't wait, because when you buy your next home, your interest rate may be higher. Okay, so I think it's important to focus on that. But we'll look at the median home prices of 2020 and compare them to 2021. So $345,000. We're almost $100,000 higher than we were last year. Guys, we are still on an exponential rise. I'm glad that November, December wasn't a huge jump like they were in previous months, but we are still looking at a very, very large rise in 2020 to 2021, which means we can probably assume that 2021 to 2022, we're going to see something very similar. I think that we're not slowing down enough that we're not going to see a massive jump. I think we should anticipate at least, and this is just my opinion, my belief, that we're going to jump at least another $50,000 or 50,000. Yeah, 50,000. Sorry, I thought I said 500,000 for some reason. Another 50,000 at least jump. Again, this is my opinion. Hopefully we see the market kind of slow down a little bit and we're able to get more inventory so buyers can actually get a hold of homes at an appropriate price instead of paying $70,000 over asking. Which we are still seeing, by the way. We still are seeing a lot of homes go up for sale and have many, many offers on the property. Some of these properties, we're starting to notice that people are actually putting in offers before, which this was a tactic prior to this, but they're putting in before it comes on the market because they're getting really tired of being outbid by somebody because it's getting 17, 18 offers throughout the month or throughout the showing time. So we're seeing a lot more where people are getting kind of fed up with that and they're jumping in early to be able to put in an offer on a home. We actually talked about that today. We had a coaching class and one of our coaches said he just put a home up for sale, and before it even came on the market, sight unseen, there was 3 offers in a home, and it was actually one of the offers that they accepted instead of going through the showings and allowing people to put offers on the home. So and they were still $60,000 over asking. So this is still happening. They're in a higher price point. He was in the 800 price point so he's higher than the median. But we can see about the exact same thing going on in the rest of the home price ranges as well. So keep that in mind. But yes, market data, that's what we're going on. The last thing I want to look at for this market data is the days on market. So if we see we're only 1 day difference from the days on market from November. We're at 29 in November and 30 in December. But let's look at last year. Let's look at what was going on last year, because I believe that is a significant jump for me. So 4 days difference to me is a pretty significant jump when we're looking at how many closings we had. We had 3,445, which is practically the same as this year, but we're closing a little bit later, which is it's nice. That means there's not as many cash buyers winning on the deals. To me, that's what this says to me, and this may not be facts, but to me this means less cash buyers are winning because cash takes very little time to close. Sometimes as little as 14 days. I've heard of actually sooner than that as well, but probably about 14 days to close on a home from acceptance. Now we're seeing 30 days, which means more people that are getting loans are able to. This is actually the average of how long it takes for a loan to close. Usually it takes approximately 30 days for a loan to close. So we're seeing more people with loans being able to close on deals, which is fantastic. I love to hear that. There are still some below that. There still are some above that, but this is the average right here is the 30 days on market. I think that's fantastic. Now we're going to branch off of market data stats because I wanted to talk about a good friend of mine who is actually the sponsor of this video. He was able to go through this data with me and talk to me about what he believes to be some important things that he wanted you guys to know. and wanted me to tell you on this video. So my sponsor today is from Certainty Home Loans. He's also a good friend of mine. I was in the military with him for many, many years. A big shout out to my buddy Brandon Wren from Certainty Home Loans. He got out of the military recently and started getting into the loan process. He is in a family of loan officers. I mean, his wife is a loan officer, his mother's a loan officer, and he's a loan officer. And they have over 30 years of experience total in the loan office profession. So Brandon is a great friend of mine. He actually lives in Texas right now, but he is also licensed in Tennessee, New Mexico, as well as Texas. So if you have any questions, guys, I have his number up on the board as well as his email. Please contact him. He would love to help you out if you have any questions or you want to look at what a loan would look like for you and possibly some more information on what he thinks the rates will be going. But he wanted me to talk about USDA loans today. He said that USDA loans he feel are undervalued and people don't see them enough. So what I did was me and him discussed on what that looks like. And he wanted me to tell you the history. So the history of USDA loan was to get people out of the suburbs and out to agricultural areas of America. This way we can produce more food. We can get people out from the crowded cities, and we can expand and explore the rest of the American land. And so the USDA has actually put together an awesome website. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight right here. If you ever want to look this stuff up, just go to, oops, maybe I can highlight it. USDA.gov, and then there's a tab that says eligibility. You can go straight to it. And then it'll actually pull up a whole map of America. I'm going to go ahead and scroll out here so you guys can see. It pulls up a whole map of America. So what we're going to be looking at today is the non-dark brown areas. You'll see that this area is what we call an ineligible area for the USDA loan. So ineligible areas are the areas that we can consider suburb areas. So when you start getting outside of that area, you start getting options to better loans. To me, this is one of the greatest loans you can use because it is a zero down payment loan option. Now you do have to be in the rural parts of America to use it, but that's okay. I want you guys to look at something very specific here. So do you see this Licton right here? Licton, Tennessee. It is literally 15 minutes from downtown Nashville. 15 minutes. If you're working a job in downtown Nashville, your time to get to work will only take about 15 minutes plus or minus for the traffic to get into town, and you still qualify for the VA loan, or excuse me, not the VA, the USDA loan. I think that's fantastic. But there are some eligibility requirements that we have to go into. So one of the eligibility requirements is that you can only make up to 115% of the median total income of your county. So what this means is if the median home price or the median income of a family in your county is $100,000, you can only make up to $115,000 to qualify. I believe, well, let's just look it up right now. So I think I looked it up earlier today. Yeah, here we are. So the individual around 2019 was about 32,000. This data is a little old. Maybe we should look for better data. We'll just use this data for now. And the median household is 60. So if we're looking at 115%, what is that going to be, like $80,000 total? If you make more than $80,000 as a household, you're ineligible for the USDA loan. However, if you make less than that, guys, you have a fantastic opportunity to be able to grab onto some of these homes that are in these areas. This is really not far jolting from Nashville. I mean, let's look at Clarksville. You can be right outside of Clarksville, not even in the across the border of Kentucky, Tennessee. All my Fort Campbell buddies out here. Dover Road. This is Dover Road right here. Let's see if I can get closer. This is Dover Road right here. So, I mean, you're right on the edge of Dover Road, just right outside, where you can still get onto Fort Campbell. Now, that is a little far away from Fort Campbell, I will admit. I wouldn't want to make that drive. But if you were in Nashville, man, that's really not far away. And again, this is county specific. So if you're within a county, you may need to check your the median income of your area, or your loan officer can do that for you. Brandon would love to do that for you. And you can apply for the USDA loan. Now, this map is not perfect. I will let you know, this map is not perfect. This shows areas that are eligible. Sometimes in certain cities, even smaller cities, this map will say you're eligible, and you may not actually be eligible. So let's look up a quick home right here. Let's go 977 Tanager Lane, Clarksville. This probably isn't a good example. Clarksville. Okay, so we're going to go to this home. So you can see right here, you have to look at the specific home, and it'll say this address is not located in an eligible area. Your loan officer, if say you looked up something right here on Guthrie Highway, and it was right here, right? Just right on the edge. Your loan officer is going to have to actually look it up, and they may or may not authorize a USDA loan. So it's very specific to the home. Make sure you talk to your loan officer to be able to find out very specifically if it does qualify. They say sometimes on the other side of the train tracks, it may be eligible or may not be. So always check with your loan officer, get that verified with them. Again, I think the USDA loan is very underused. America still has a ton of space in it that is available for agricultural land. If you even just think you could use a few acres and you don't want to live in the city, I would consider the USDA loan. Again, it's 0% down payment, and you can earn up to 115% of what the median income is in that county. So last thing I want to mention, Brandon and Certainty Home Loans have come up with a brand new program, very similar. A lot of companies have this program. However, I think Brandon's is the leading company in this program. So they're willing to do, when you get a loan with them, if you qualify, they're going to offer you 5% of a total down payment assistance. If you qualify, they're going to give you 5% of possible down payment assistance. Now, I think this is an amazing program for those of you who qualify to be able to get free money. You can use this money towards closing, towards your down payment. And the best thing about it is if you continue to pay your payments on time, in certain circumstances, they will actually take this part of the loan away. So what they do is they add it onto the loan price, and if you continue to pay effectively every single month and you're showing a positive history, then what they're going to do is they're going to forgive this payment totally. They're just saying thank you for using us. And I mean, to me, this is free money, guys. I'm going to be honest. When I go to buy a home, it's going to be really hard for me to use anybody else because this program is available. Sorry to all my other vendors out there. I know that's hard to hear, but guys, this is a fantastic program, and I do suggest that you look into it. At least give them a call. They have really, really good rates, and they will compete for you and work with you to get you into the home of your dreams. Again, I just want to end the video by saying thank you, Brandon. He's a mortgage loan originator from Texas, El Paso. However, he does have a license in New Mexico and Tennessee, as well as Texas. So if you need his help, please give him a call. Or if you need some real estate help, give me a call. My number is 931-551-1649. I give it to the world to call. I don't mind at all. I love you guys. If you have any questions, please reach out and ask. And I hope today's market stat video was effective for you. I love you guys. Thank you. Let's make sure we focus on positivity and not destruction. Make 2022 the best year of our lives. Peace.